From the News Channel 5 Network, this is Morning Line with Nick Beres.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on Morning Line. Nick Beres with you on this Thursday. Good show on tap for you. It's something we've talked about for a while, but there was a hiatus. We haven't come back to it. Of course, you know the issue of marijuana, cannabis, hemp, CBD oil, and things like that here in the state of Tennessee continues to be discussed. We hear about it at the state level, medical marijuana. Look, bottom line here in Tennessee, marijuana still is illegal. Whether or not you are actually prosecuted for it is a different question on that. Of course, what is legal here is CBD, hemp-type products, which many people use legally here in Tennessee and find that it gives them much of the same benefit that they might seek if they were doing, say, marijuana in Colorado, where it is legal. There are ways to learn more about it, and there are developments, new things coming down the pike every day. And there are some fantastic festivals, expos that happen, and one of the best, I think, and we're lucky to have it back here in Middle Tennessee, is the Southern Hemp Expo. Took a little bit of a hiatus there for a while because of COVID. Then it was in a couple other states. It's back in national. I think they would like to make this a regular happening. I think they have a 2-year deal to come back, have the expo at the fairgrounds here in Nashville. And he's been on before. It's good to have him back on because I've learned a lot from him. The producer of the Southern Hemp Expo, Morris Beegle. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Nick.
It's good to have you on. Good to see you back here. Boy, last time you came on, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. That's when CBD and hemp was really exploding, and the debate, and I learned so much from you. It was a big, big deal. Now it's more commonplace. Has the interest in it, it seemed like for a bit, it waned a bit from that very high peak, but it's never gone away. How would you characterize where we stand with hemp in this country?
Well, things have definitely calmed down.
Right.
We had there was a big explosion that really happened in 2017, 2018, 2019.
Yes, I remember.
And then there was an oversupply, and the market kind of came down. The pricing dropped out of the bottom, so to speak. And COVID definitely took out a lot of people within the industry. COVID took out a lot of things.
Yeah.
But hemp has certainly not gone away. There's still a lot of momentum across the spectrum, from the fiber side, the grain side, the CBD side, and now we've got these new Delta 8, hemp-derived Delta 9, THCO, HHC, these minor cannabinoids that are a result of synthesizing CBD with the oversupply of biomass that's been out there. It's like, what do we do with all this stuff? And then you leave it to kind of the lab guys, and the lab guys figure out how to do all this stuff. And now we've got these hemp-derived derivatives that can actually,
and they're legal.
They're legal,
yeah.
And there's been court precedent in several states now. It's legal here in Tennessee, but they are intoxicating, and that really was never the intention of the Farm Bill or the hemp industry when all this stuff was happening. So, but we're in kind of a new territory now.
Yeah, it's confusing to folks. And you say one reason that a lot of this is happening is that under the Farm Bill and moving on, the FDA just didn't jump in to regulate it.
Right. So when we passed the Farm Bill in 2018, which Trump signed, and not that Trump was all about hemp, because he probably doesn't even know what hemp is. He just signed the Farm Bill.
Yeah.
Farm Bill's good for farmers. Yeah. Lots of subsidies, and just it provides support for the farming community. But the FDA really should have stepped in and regulated CBD as a dietary supplement, as a food and beverage additive, and they've continued to kick the can down the road, and they have not done that. And it's basically because they are the wingman for the pharmaceutical industry, and the pharmaceutical industry is like, you continue to just push this industry off so we can position ourselves, and we're going to do what we do, and we'll control the cannabinoid industry at some point in time. And so that's what they've been doing.
Banking on the fact that pharmaceutical companies are going to jump in if and when it becomes legal nationally, something like along the board, right?
Pfizer's already thrown $6 or $7 billion into the cannabinoid industry, and it's coming, and they use the FDA as their prop, basically.
We should say you're Natalie attired, and that shirt is made from?
This
shirt is made from hemp. It's
Yeah,
a
I know.
Patagonia shirt.
Oh, it's a great shirt.
Yeah, Patagonia has supported sustainability and environmentalism, and they're a great company, and we've been happy to have them as a partner over the years. So so I figured I'd wear my Patagonia shirt.
Clothing, hemp rope.
Yep.
You can eat. I was at Trader Joe's the other day, bought a bag of hemp hearts.
There you go.
And boy, those are awesome. I mean, high protein, yummy. I just sprinkle it on my yogurt. Let's just define for folks, and many of our viewers, followed it. Some maybe not up to speed. Hemp is a cannabis plant, is it not? It's under the cannabis umbrella. It's a type. If you were to look at a marijuana plant, okay, and a hemp plant, both cannabis, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference by looking at them, would you?
Well, not a cannabinoid hemp and a marijuana plant.
I guess that's a better way to put it.
If it's industrial hemp and it's grown for, let's say, fiber or grain, then you row crop that. It's planted close together. It's real tall, thin, and it looks different than the kind of the bushy cannabis plant, which is what most people have been growing.
But the leaves, those leaves.
Oh yeah,
the marijuana leaf, the classic look, that's same.
Right, it's the same, and it's difficult to tell the difference. And if you're law enforcement, I can certainly see the confusion there, and it's like, well, this is marijuana, and the only way to tell the difference is if you test it in a lab and what's the percentage of THC that's in that plant.
Yeah. Well, okay. See, I think there are an awful lot of people in Tennessee that would like to try getting the benefit medically or health-wise from marijuana, cannabis. They want to do it legally.
Sure.
And that's, I think, one where the Southern Hemp Expo can come into play. You can learn so much from there. And we're going to go over all the different things that will be happening when it starts here in a few days. But I guess my question, for folks that are right now looking for what's legal and what's not, it can be awful confusing. And you talked about law enforcement. They'll have drug dogs hit on a hemp plant. They can't tell the difference between that and the other. How do they go about prosecuting? It's a mess.
It is. It's very difficult. So I wouldn't throw law enforcement under the bus for any of this stuff.
It's a hard job.
It's a hard job,
Detecting
and the vast majority of police officers are good folks, and they just want to.
Well, they're trying to follow the law.
They're trying to follow the law, and that's their job. But the laws need to change, unfortunately. And I would think that the vast majority of law enforcement would say this should be our lowest priority. We don't want to go after people that are utilizing cannabis. We've put I don't know how many millions of people in jail over the course of the last 50 years since we started this war on drugs, war on nature, war on a plant, and just destroyed so many millions of lives. And that's not what they need to focus on. Yeah. And they know that.
I think they do. The only busts really, Morris, I see that we have lately around here, it's certainly not for the individual caught with a little baggie of marijuana or joint. That's illegal, I know, in Tennessee, but that's stupid to arrest them, okay? I know the police officers may feel compelled if they come across, but it's the guys who are coming through the airport with suitcases full of marijuana. I understand that. The large amounts, all right, what are you thinking, man? You're going to get nailed for that. Right. But the smaller amounts, even here in Davidson County, as I said, our district attorney will not prosecute for small amounts. And our sheriff is in agreement. He doesn't want to lock up anyone. We don't want to put people behind bars that we have to pay for. They're caught with a joint. That's absurd.
No, that's a waste of the taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
It's a waste of resources. And it's great that DAs and sheriffs, they have discretion on how they apply some of these things. And they always should. They shouldn't be told that they have to apply the law in these very strict realms, like starting to happen in other places now.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's talk a little bit about, and by the way, we can take calls as we go along. If you have questions, 737-7587. But Southern Hemp Expo, it kicks off, August 18th, right?
Well, so today is August 18th.
I know. Today,
so today is exhibitor setup, and we've got a welcome party for our exhibitors and sponsors tonight. Tomorrow is the expo, and Saturday's the expo. We've got a business conference tomorrow. We have a farm symposium on Saturday. We've got 2 expo halls full of exhibitors, all kinds of products, lots of information out there. So if people are interested in finding out what is hemp, what is industrial hemp, all of the applications, all the uses, this is a great place to come check out.
Look, I've been, and I'm going to definitely swing by tomorrow. To me, it is just an education going through there. Now, as I talked about, there's people that want to try maybe some of the benefits that you can get from a hemp type product. There are ways that the vendors there have products that you can do that and you're not getting high.
Correct.
Like you talked about, Delta 9, Delta 8 may be legal, okay, and that's going. You're going to catch a buzz if you use that stuff. I don't know why, the loophole and how that works, but that's the way it is now. But a lot of us want to benefit from it and don't want to get high.
Sure.
I just want, and there are all kinds of products like that.
Oh yeah, all these full spectrum CBD products or broad spectrum that have no THC, so
right.
they basically remove that one component, but they've still got the full spectrum of other cannabinoids and terpenes and other compounds and so forth, for anxiety, for pain, for depression. And you can't make claims on these products because that's against the,
right.
As far as the FDA is concerned, unless it's a drug, and not a supplement, which these are supplements, and although the FDA hasn't said that CBD is a dietary supplement or a food and beverage additive, which they should have, and they haven't yet. But
and we'll talk about that in our next segment also.
You can't make medical claims. So and that's, if that was echinacea or any other botanical, it's like you can't make claims.
Right. All you can do, listen, as we go to the break, I know when I came out 4 years ago, and I've got some muscle aches and stuff from some of the crazy stuff I do, you know, and anecdotal, personal experience.
Sure.
I remember you and someone else took me up to one of these, one of the vendors, and they had a balm or cream. I forget which one it was, and I remember buying. And it was not cheap. It was about this big, but it lasts a long time. It was like 40, 50 bucks.
Right.
A small one. I've used Bengay. I've used all kinds of rubs over the years. Yeah, I see what they do. This stuff worked. And I'm not kidding you. I mean, I was stunned. And my buddy Bud, who's a photographer, the same way. We tried it and we're like, all right, we'll see. We paid all this money. We're going to give it a try. And I'm telling you, and I may not work for everyone, that was like nothing I've ever tried before, and I've been using it ever since. It doesn't get you high, it's just a balm. Gets in there, and it got rid of the muscle aches.
There you go.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do, because I use this stuff myself.
Okay, anyway,
I mean,
it blew me away because I'm a skeptic, just so you know, and I'm learning about this. It worked. And I'm like, well, there's really something to this. At least that's my anecdotal tale. We'll take a break. When we come back, though, I want to get more into this. We can take some phone calls. Also talk, we have some restaurants that have opened up. They're all CBD infused now.
I know.
Beers.
Which is great.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. We'll take some of the calls if you have questions. 737-7587. We're talking about the Southern Hemp Expo. It gets underway today through the next couple of days, and it's definitely worth going. It's going to be at the fairgrounds.
Correct.
All right, we'll be back and more with our guest right after this.